WrestleMania 42 was a feast for the eyes and soul. At least it was if you're an advertising executive, TKO board member, or general corporate synergy pervert. For everyone else, it wasn't very good. I have my takes both in the form of members-only reviews on this channel, and I may have a proper essay about WWE's match layouts and pacing coming down the bend. But for the show as a whole, the only worthwhile part of it for me at this point is looking at the outfits. WrestleMania is historically known for its show-stealing entrances and special outfits. Those once-a-year attires with hours of blood, sweat, and tears poured into them, all with the goal of one day making an exorbitantly expensive action figure. The rules are simple. We're rating these outfits from F to S tier, though we're not using tier list maker because that is so 2 years ago and I'm kind of too lazy to make one. I do have my own criteria and reasonings for ranking these outfits, but we'll get into those as they become relevant. For the most part, it's pretty vibes based and just my opinion. Don't need more preamble than that, let's jump right in. The first person we saw on WrestleMania 42's Saturday card was mercifully not Triple H, but instead WrestleMania host John Cena. He's wearing a nice suit, probably one of the better John Cena suits in the history of John Cena suits, but I think this establishes a good baseline. John dressed fancy for the occasion, but it's nothing to really write home about. Suit Cena is C tier. I am a sucker for pinstripes, but he just doesn't wear it as well as Mil Muertes, so C tier. Our first entrance of the show was the Usos, and I feel similarly about their efforts here. You know, it's good, the white really pops, it's clearly a special WrestleMania color scheme, but it doesn't do anything all that ambitious. You know, I can't say it really speaks to me. Honestly, I'm especially disappointed in Jay. I feel like one of the only positives of his Yeet Man phase has been that he's become a very toyetic wrestler from a design standpoint, but here it's just like, yep, that sure is gear. Again, you get points for trying and for matching with their tag partner, LA Knight. We'll get to him in a second, but these are going in C tier. Here we have LA Knight and hey, listen, I love LA Knight. I think he was the second best performer in this match, aside from IShowSpeed, but this gear isn't doing it for me. I do appreciate that he's kind of matching with Jimmy and Jay with his little white, green, and orange designs on the side, but otherwise, these are tights he could be wearing on any Raw. Believe me, I want good things for LA Knight too, but unfortunately, he's gonna be our first D tier of the night, though take solace in the fact that he certainly won't be the last. On that topic, let's talk about the Vision. Logan Paul and Austin Theory were created in a lab with the express purpose of creating the most milquetoast tag team in all of WWF history, and that is a high bar to clear, but these boys do it comfortably. That's easy to see in their gear. I see what they did here. They're matching, but in a very minor way, where Austin Theory has those very subtle, very bright blue highlights to match Logan's pants. But these are just fucking normal wrestling tights. Like, they're wrestling, it's technically flashy, but it only just clears the bare minimum of acceptability. D tier. IShowSpeed was dressed like Danhausen for some reason. I mean, they have had multiple interactions on Raw, but I don't know. Struck me as a weird choice, but I suppose it was a bold one. And once he ditched the cape, it was essentially just normal wrestling gear, but it looks pretty good. He does kind of look like any creator wrestler you could make. This is a pretty solid indie wrestler starter kit, but you know, it's a solid color scheme. It looks good on him, and he's a celebrity guest. The best dressed celebrity on the card, by the way. Spoilers for later. I'll give him a C, but it's the lowest C I think we can give. He's right on that threshold. The next match was Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre, and Fatu, I think this is just gonna be a me thing, but I don't rate this very highly. I get what he was going for with the camo stuff. It fits his character, and I like that he had dancers for his entrance, but I just cannot get behind those tights. The half camo, half black, it clashes in a way I really don't like. And like, what is even the point of half camo? Oh yeah, your right leg is gonna be completely safe from enemy eyes. Again, points for trying something, but this is a C for me. Drew has a bad case of regular gear-itis, but it's good regular gear. I really like his entrance coat. You know, the pauldrons, they look good. His very nice coat and the emblem on his ass save this from just being regular gear. I'll give it a C. It has not been a great night so far, but we're about to enter a stretch of women's matches, so hopefully someone can up the ante. Jesus Christ, thank you, ladies. This is freaking WrestleMania gear. It's S tier. I highly doubt I have to go into why, but let's run it down. Wonderful contrast. It's giving this image, or this image. The wings look gorgeous. And I especially love Charlotte's in-ring gear. Such a good color scheme. It's so eye-catching. This is what WrestleMania gear should be. Both of these go into S tier, although personal taste, I would put Charlotte's just above Alexa's. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, it's good. It's solid. I like their entrance coats, although from a distance or at low resolutions, they kind of both looked like Deonna Purrazzo to me. Maybe that's just me, but these are pretty good. They go slightly above the bare minimum, but it's nothing super special or eye-catching. This will be our first B tier. It does kind of suck that like Charlotte and Alexa got wings when wings are Lyra's whole thing, but what are you gonna do? What if Demolition We're Serving is an objectively hilarious premise and it is pulled off very well here? Good idea, good execution, all white gear for Mania. This is A tier, though I wouldn't blame you for putting it in S tier either. It came across as very unique. The Bellas have a couple of touches, a couple of accoutrements that set this apart from their TV gear, even though it's been a while since we've even seen much of their TV gear, but they're not exactly going above and beyond here. I'll give them a B for Bella. Egads, it's a surprise return. Paige is here, and on presumably short notice, she got some nice fire-themed gear. You know, it's pretty good. It's a good little change from her usual purple and black color scheme. I'll give her points for that. This is solid. I'll give it a B for Paige. Becky Lynch sports an uncharacteristically understated look for this year's Mania, but it's still good. The blue and black is a good inversion from her usual warmer colors paired with black, and her entrance coat looks really nice. Maybe this is some bias showing, but I personally would put it in A. Simple, sure, but very well done. Another instance of usual TV gear with some added details to make it pop. Another one that's simple but well done, although it doesn't really stand out apart enough from her usual looks to sway me too hard, but still, it's well done. The color coordination is good with the pink highlights, or well, it's mostly pink with pink highlights on the boots and the pants. Solid. Mileage will vary based on opinion. For me, it's a solid B. Liv Morgan. I get it, I do, but I don't like it. D tier. You know, I get the idea, and I'm sure this is some kind of Britney thing, but no, I don't care for it. Stephanie Vaquer, solid, or ironically, not solid. She usually wears gear that is a solid color, so having this flame-themed gear, it's not like it's a huge departure, but it's a nice little accent to show that the gear is just a little more special than the others. I'll give it a B tier. And a special Alicia Taylor ranking, S tier. I mean, just look at that outfit. Oh my goodness. Gorgeous. Love it. You know, maybe I could say that the pattern is a little curtain-esque, but by WrestleMania standards, this is high art and high fashion for sure. Gunther didn't do anything special, but he's kind of the one guy I give a pass to for that. His whole thing is the minimalism and the stark stuff, and you know, this is a C. But it's fine. And I do appreciate that he has a little blue on his trunks. He usually doesn't have much color at all, so there you go. Seth came out in a smoking jacket. Not a smoke, like a jacket that was smoking. Probably would have hit harder if I got the reference, but still pretty good, I guess. The tights are nothing to write home about, just black on gray, even if it does have some sort of interesting patterning on it. I'll put him near the bottom of B for trying something unique, but not completely out there. You know, most of C tier is you barely tried, and I'd put this a little over that. Just a bit. No, I'm looking at it. I changed my mind. Seth Rollins usually has some crazy fits, even before his Becky is my stylist era. This one's a C tier. My apologies. I had to second guess. My apologies. C tier. Jesus Christ, dude. As if Pat's presence wasn't unwelcome enough on this show, he doesn't give us literally anything with his WrestleMania look. Granted, it's probably so simple because he comes out later with the referee shirt, but like, you could have done something fun with the pants? Some shoes that don't look like garbage, maybe? You know, maybe you could pull up in some Knight's boots instead of your goddamn Nikes? Garbage. Awful. A fittingly flat end to a terrible contributor to the road to WrestleMania. This is our first and possibly only F tier. Randy, Did anyone tell you what show it is? You're just wearing your TV tights. I mean, the blue and black is solid, but like, come on, dude. He inexplicably works the masked babyface anyway, so I would have liked to see some of the more colorful tights in his arsenal make a return, possibly? I don't know. Randy's never been a special big gear guy. When he had that one red elbow pad at WrestleMania 31, it was like, whoa, Randy's trying something new. Very brave. I actually really do like that WrestleMania look. But this is nothing. This is D tier. Okay, Cody, okay. Personal aesthetic tastes aside, this is clearly very effortful, and I do at least appreciate that, even if that everyone is 12 theory is hitting a little too hard right now. Although, credit where it's due, once he sheds the 50 pounds of gold he's wearing, his tights are actually immaculate. Maybe the best Cody tights I have ever seen. This nice regal blue and gold pattern, the names of his kids on his boots, very babyface. You know, it's like Cody in microcosm. Once you strip down all the loud and obnoxious stuff that he puts in because of his aesthetic tastes, at the core is something that is really sound. And so, to be nice to the guy, because I know he's had a rough WrestleMania season, for the tights alone, I'll put it in A tier. But if we include the gold mess, it is bumped right down to B, let me be clear. And though she went on before the main event, let's close night one with the best of night one. Bianca Belair has never been a slouch in the gear department, and tonight was no different. The blue rose gown, the pregnancy-friendly gear, it's iconic. It's excellence in its field. Nothing more to say. What more would you expect from a woman who makes her own gear and makes gear that looks like this? S tier, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And to be honest, the very tippy top of S tier. And that closes out night one. Here is a visual representation of our rankings, as they are so far. I'll give you a few minutes to look at it, you know, take it in. You could pause, but you know, we could also just sit here in this moment together. That would be nice. We never call. All right, that's enough. Let's move on to night two with, again, John Cena. Yep. That sure is a very slightly different suit. So similar that one may argue it wasn't really worth changing at all. But let's be nice to John in his retired life, doing this favor for TKO because their ticket sales weren't that good this year. Cena suit number 2 gets a second C. Brock, you didn't even try. This is the night you allegedly retire, and you didn't even try. Whatever, not like I want him here anyway. Although it is funny that this gear is even more devoid of color than his usual, on account of not having any advertising on it. I wonder if all that branding was contagious, and that's why the ring looks like that now. At any rate, this gear gets an F. Okay, it's kind of just your usual, but in red. But it is a nice red. There's a nice texture to it. I like the gold patterns. The red, gold, and black is a good scheme, and it breaks the trend of dark gear. I don't know, maybe this is biased for Oba showing, but I would put this in B, although the very, very bottom of B. Right on that line between adequate and good. Dragon Lee is one of 3 competitors whose entrance was not shown on the live feed. That would be hilarious if it wasn't so sad and frustrating for the performer. He even had special entrance wings. Spoiler alert, he doesn't wear these in the match. I feel bad for him, especially because he's serving a really good look here. The red and gold looks gorgeous. The wings look good. The harness is a little silly. He looks like he's wearing a backpack, but what are you gonna do? It's a good eye-catching idea, and even without the entrance part, the red and gold on the tights and the boots look so good. This is an A tier attire. Rusev's gear is a reflection of his WWE run. It's all right. The gold and black does look good. It's striking, it's simple, and it's a good contrast against a lot of the very colorful designs in this multi-man match. You know, it's not that much, but it is fitting for him as the base and one of 2 heels in this match. It's simple, it's solid, it does its job. I'll put it in B tier. I'll acknowledge that he tried, got a battle jacket. Full disclosure, I don't care for JD McDonough. I like the little bandana on his arm. C tier. Now we're talking Rey Mysterio, one of the legendary WrestleMania gear havers, and here he is very obviously cosplaying Deadpool. Yeah, I can see it. And I didn't even have to Google it. You can't prove I did. This is good gear. It very much pops. Very striking. Although, let's be real, all Rey WrestleMania gears are implicitly competing against this beauty from WrestleMania 22. As such, this isn't Rey's best Mania gear, but it is far from his worst. This comes in at a very strong A tier. Javon Evans, everyone's favorite up-and-coming high flyer. This is good. This is good gear. You know, it's mostly normal TV gear, but with a very different and very vibrant color scheme for the show of shows. It's good. It doesn't really have a unifying theme that puts it over the top or anything, but it's good. This is a solid B. As for Penta, listen, the mask and the majesty of his entrance are doing a lot of heavy lifting, but I'll give it an S tier. It's a cool mask. It's just an entrance mask, but it's very cool. And you know, the Mortal Kombat tie-in actually really fits Penta and his vibe, so I'll take it. I'll take it. Weird note though, all of the luchadores in this mask were dressed in red and black. I don't know if that was an intentional choice or not, but it's certainly interesting. You know, on the one hand, they're wearing the same thing, but on the other hand, it creates a connection between them. I don't know, if it was 2 guys, I'd definitely dock them points, but since it's 3 guys, I kind of feel like it's less of a coincidence. Maybe intentional? I don't know. At any rate, I won't deduct points for the overlap. Penta's still an S tier. Next is Sami Zayn. Yeah, pretty good. I really like the green on his tights. The green, black, and red all really go together. Sami Zayn has been somewhat vocal about supporting Palestine, so this color scheme may be another reference to that. But even in a vacuum, you know, it's good. It stands out from his TV gear very well. I don't know if I really like the ride or die on the knee pads. Kind of looks clunky, but I do like everything else about these tights, so I will put it in B tier. Trick Williams has been wearing this same jacket for his entire main roster run, so maybe that would be a point against him. But on the other hand, Trick's entire WrestleMania entrance was a masterclass in aura forming from the podium to the long-ass train. It looked amazing. Again, maybe this is another instance where the entrance really ups the gear overall, but the entrance counts. It's part of the pageantry. I would put Trick in S tier. He looks like $1,000,000. He aura farmed so hard that I can't take off points for it technically being really in line with his TV gear. And a fun out of kayfabe thing is that his gear matches with Lash Legend, his out of kayfabe partner. So pretty cool. Oh yeah, baby. Now it's WrestleMania. Dominic has been pretty reliably breaking out some fun entrance masks for his WrestleManias, and this year was no different with a throne and an army of masked individuals. He looked fantastic. I don't think it quite breaks into that upper echelon, but this is a very strong A tier. Even without the mask, the black and white gear, it looks good. It's a good look on him. He's a good looking boy. You know, I get it. I get it. The demon, Finn Balor. The prince's alter ego has made a rare return, and this time not to eat an incredibly frustrating loss. I don't think this is the best iteration of the demon I've ever seen, but it's always pretty fun wrestling smoke and mirrors whenever it does show up. And I especially love the detail of the back paint, showing a little cartoon demon eating a little cartoon Dominic Mysterio. Very cute. And I do like how the more recent demon iterations have had these splashes of blue thrown in with the red and black. It really helps it pop. Again, not the best of the best for me, but this one goes in A tier. Oh my god. This is S tier. Look at it. Look at her. Majestic, showy, somewhat complicated, gold. Even her ring gear is notably distinct from her TV gear. I think Jade doesn't really wrestle that often. Snark aside, this is amazing. Amazing look. S tier. Easy. An easy cheat code for WrestleMania gear is to take gear that is usually black or dark and make it white or colorful. Rhea's opted for the white, and it looks very good. Just for how well it pops and how well it contrasts with her usual, I would put it in S tier, but I definitely wouldn't put it above Jade's efforts. We're also, we're gonna rank the people who interfered in the match too, because why not? I really like Mia's fit here, although I do get the impression that she was under the impression that she would be on the Mad Max day rather than the futuristic blue day, but Michin's Saturday best is just as good on a Sunday. I'll give this a high B tier. B-Fab's fit is also good, although it's giving more pirate than Mad Max. We're just getting all of our WrestleMania themes mixed up. But again, good. Especially as a pair, they make for a really good duo of henchwoman. B-Fab, fittingly enough, gets a B. EO, I am obsessed. The white with the pink spray paint, it looks so good. It's simple, but it's so good. Not much more to say. She's got that shit on. A tier. Comedy segment has in real quick. C tier, B tier, B tier. Although Kit Wilson, you are reheating Io's nachos. That's kind of toxic. Now on to your main event in terms of wrestling, not really in terms of gear. Roman, listen, I see the gold trim. I see the highlights, you are going for a subtle thing, but you're really giving me nothing to work with here. Very understated, nothing special. Hell, Roman has had black and gold gear with more gold than this. I don't know, I get it, I get the minimalism, but for me, this is C tier. Maybe the point was to strip Roman down in the same way that he doesn't have his cousins to help and all that. He's trying to prove Punk wrong, but it didn't really work for me. Punk, on the other hand, gives us a lot more to work with. He's got an all-white take on his ROH jacket look. In classic Punk fashion, it has tributes to friends and loved ones and wrestling legends, people he admires, people he's lost, very clearly, very personal. And now, someone can tell me if I'm wrong on this, but the color scheme on the tights seems very conspicuous to me. You know, the white and the gold and the purple, it's kind of giving WrestleMania 34. It's kind of giving New Orleans. It's kind of giving the original location of WrestleMania before it was moved to Las Vegas again. Like, maybe I'm reading into something that isn't there and Punk was just going for like a Regal look, possibly a King Harley Race tribute, but I don't know. I have my little conspiracy theory. At any rate, Punk's is also simple, but it inverts his usually dark gear to have white gear with a very striking color scheme, and his entrance gear had a lot of understated personal touches. Not quite upper echelon, but this is in the high ranks of A tier for me. And that's our list. Here is a visual for Night 2's tier list. And again, just let the moment sit, you know? You don't have to say anything all the time. Oh my god, you're so antsy. Just enjoy the moment. Look at the graphic, look at the moment. And to put a little topper on the whole thing, let's rank the top 5 outfits from this year's WrestleMania 42 as a whole. Coming in at number 5 is Bianca Belair. If she was competing on this card, I definitely would have ranked her higher, but in the spirit of the event, I felt it was only right to prioritize in-ring competitors, but make no mistake, the EST was one of the BEST of the weekend. It's just that someone has to prioritize in-ring competition, and it ain't gonna be WWE. Number 4 goes to Penta for his very cool Shao Kahn mask. He likely would have placed higher if there was more that went into his entrance gear, but on the other hand, if he tried to go more Shao Kahn, it might cross over into a more corny territory. You know, Triple H, Terminator, Mania 31 territory, but it's safe to say that this look hits more of a sweet spot than that one. Number 3, Trick Williams. As I said, aura farming at its finest. I do worry that the powers that be may be a little too attached to this coat. It's a good coat. It looks good on him. It makes him toyetic. It's iconic. It's good. But in an effort to make him recognizable, I don't want them to pigeonhole him fashion-wise, you know? Trick could probably be someone with a new eccentric look every other week, like a Becky or a Seth. So as I said, this is good for now, but you gotta let him spread his wings. Number 2, Jade. As random as it was that her one-winged angel was called the Sandstorm, like there was no build-up or anything, Michael Cole just started shouting it. Maybe it does fit that she looked like the living embodiment of a sandstorm during her entrance. This would be a killer look for some kind of sci-fi fantasy royalty character. You don't need me to say it, she knocked it out of the park. Number 1 is kind of cheating because it is a double entry, but Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss had the joint best attire of the weekend. I love the wings, I love the contrast. These two would be really good on their own. They probably would have placed on the list on their own, but as a package deal, I think they were definitely the best of the weekend. Congratulations to them for that and for miraculously not breaking up yet. I guess we'll revisit that at SummerSlam or Jesus, maybe Mania next year. At any rate, we may get a sequel to this wonderful number. And that's gonna do it for me. What did you think of my rankings? Did I overhype anything? Do anyone dirty? Whatever you thought, please leave your opinions in the comments below, and let me know if you'd like to see more content like this. If you like what I'm doing here generally, the best way to support me is by becoming a channel member. All members get their usernames on screen at the end of a video, and they get access to exclusive bonus videos, which include my reviews of both nights of WrestleMania. So if you're interested to check that out, memberships start at $2.99 a month. I'd really appreciate it. And if you join the $5.99 tier, you get all of that, plus a spoken shout out at the end of my videos that will sound a little something like this. Thank you to my supporters, and especially to my supporters but larger, TB Skyen, Stephen Gorman, and Norman the Great Dane. At any rate, that's gonna do it for me. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.